Yo guys, at the end of this video, I'm going to be making a big announcement, so stay tuned for that. What's going on guys, it's Tom of Top 10 Wrestling, and in the past, I've done lists of the worst world champions in TNA history, on the worst X Division champions in TNA history. So today, I thought I would count down the top 5 worst TNA Knockouts champions of all time. Of course, the Knockouts title being their women's title. TNA were treating their women's division really well for a long time before WWE were, but that doesn't mean they didn't have some awful title reigns in the Knockouts division, and we're going to talk about them. But before we do get into it, be sure to subscribe with notifications on. I'm trying to hit 200k, I say this all the time, but any help would really be appreciated. And yeah, sub to me before I hit 200k, be part of the club, but let's get into it. Coming in at number 5, we have Winter. Winter came into TNA in 2010 after being released from the WWE, where she had a pretty underwhelming run there as Katie Lee Burchill. Winter looked to be a good signing for the company. She was pretty good in the ring and was experienced on TV, and maybe TNA could use her better than WWE did. But nah. Winter came in and was immediately placed into an awful storyline with Angelina Love and the Beautiful People. She made supernatural appearances where only Angelina Love could see her, such as inside of mirrors, and everyone would act like Angelina Love is insane, even though the audience could see her in the mirror too. It was really bad, but eventually it turned into a thing where Angelina Love was under her spell or drugged or something, and was blindly following Winter's lead. And they would win the Knockouts tag titles together. Of course, they would lose those belts, and Love blindly following Winter would end up leading to the breakup of the Beautiful People. With help from Angelina Love, Winter was able to capture the Knockouts title for the first time from Mickie James at Hardcore Justice 2011. But this wouldn't last long, as she would lose it back to Mickie James on an episode of Impact less than a month later. But then, Winter herself would win it back once again at the next pay-per-view No Surrender from Mickie James, but then again lose it on her first title defense, this time at the next pay-per-view Bound for Glory to Velvet Sky in a 4-way match, also involving Mickie James and Madison Rayne. This match was really bad, like awful, and it had really weird rules. It was a 4-way match, but only 2 women at a time could be in, and you had to tag yourself in to come into the match. It was really weird, and Karen Jarrett was a special guest referee, and that made it suck even more. And overall, Winter had a great look. She was a decent promo, and was good in the ring, but for whatever reason, she never really had great matches in TNA, and being placed into an awful storyline right from the day she joined TNA was not a good move, and proved to be very costly to her TNA career. Number 4, ALLIE. ALLIE, or the Bunny as you might know her as on AEW currently, has actually been wrestling for over 15 years now. She signed a contract for TNA in 2016, and she established herself as a heel when she joined an alliance with Sienna and Maria Kanellis. On the August 25th special Turning Point episode of Impact, ALLIE would turn face when she won the Knockouts title. Essentially, she won the title by accident. She was hit with a baton and knocked out and fell on top of Madison Rayne, whose shoulders were down and laid out on the mat, and the 3 count was made. So, first of all, that's not exactly a great way to win the title, so I can't imagine how good her title reign is going to be if she's won the title by accident in the first place. And yeah, her reign was very short-lived. She held the title for a week, she lost it to Maria Kanellis, where she was forced to lay down for her, once again making her look even more weak. From there, ALLIE and her real-life husband would begin feuding with Maria and Mike Bennett, where the feud ended early because of Maria and Mike joining the WWE. ALLIE and her real-life husband Braxton Sutter's alliance on screen and relationship on screen just ended out of nowhere, but Braxton Sutter came out as a heel and announced that he had dumped ALLIE. ALLIE would win the title once more on the March 8th, 2018 special Crossroads edition of Impact, but once again, her reign was pretty underwhelming and forgettable. She lost the title to Su Yung 2.5 months later, but at least this time round, ALLIE won the title on purpose, so fair enough on that front. But still, her reigns were not that great, and nowadays in AEW, she's doing very well as the manager of Butcher and the Blade. On January 5th, 2016, Maria Kanellis debuted for Impact on their debut on Pop TV. Before joining Impact, Maria Kanellis had been part of the WWE in their women's division, or their Divas division, where she never won any titles or did much, and she had been in New Japan managing her husband Mike Bennett, where she was actually really popular. So much so that New Japan booked their first women's match since 2002 in 2015, where she teamed with Mike Bennett and Matt Taven to defeat Amber Gallows, Doc Gallows, and Carl Anderson, which is pretty damn crazy. Maria worked both as a manager and a wrestler, but at least in my opinion, she was a lot better as a manager. She was okay in the ring, but she was never near the top of any company's women's division in terms of her in-ring work. And like I said previously, Maria Kanellis would win the Knockouts title from ALLIE after forcing her to lay down for her, putting an end to ALLIE's short and underwhelming Knockouts title reign. But I would argue that Maria Kanellis was a worse Knockouts champion than ALLIE was. Just hear me out. Just a month after winning the title, Maria Kanellis would lose the title to Gail Kim at Bound for Glory. It feels like Maria was just a transitional champion, and the only reason she won the title was to further the storyline with ALLIE, and so that Bound for Glory, obviously being Impact's biggest pay-per-view, they probably had her win the title so they could have TNA's two most popular knockouts face off, Maria Kanellis and Gail Kim. And even though Maria Kanellis wasn't the best in the ring, she definitely was one of the most popular knockouts in TNA given her WWE and New Japan past. Maria would never win the title again, and she would start feuding with ALLIE, but this feud was cut short as Maria would quit the company. But it was a kayfabe quitting, of course, as she had resigned with the WWE. But now in 2020, she and Mike have been released from the WWE, and I think there's a good chance we'll see them in Impact soon again, once this whole pandemic is over. Number 2, Jessica Havok. Havok should have been something more in TNA. She was someone who should have filled the void that Awesome Kong left. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Havok made her wrestling debut in 2004 and spent the next 10 years wrestling all over the states before making her way to TNA in 2014. She had her first match in TNA as part of TNA's Knockouts One Night Only event, losing to Madison Rayne. Not a good start. However, later that year in August, vignettes started airing, hyping up her official debut, and it seemed that TNA was actually building her up. Now, Jessica Havok in size was a lot bigger than the Knockouts, like Awesome Kong kind of size, and she could have been used as a monster heel, similarly to Awesome Kong, and at first it seemed TNA was actually going that route. She would start making appearances where she would attack and brutalize other knockouts after their matches, and at No Surrender in her first official match for the company, let's forget her match with Madison Rayne, she won a #1 Contenders Battle Royal for the Knockouts title, and on October 1st, she defeated Knockouts champion Gail Kim to win the Knockouts title. So what a start. What a start! She has come in as a monster and immediately won the title. This is exactly how she should be used. This is great. However, as I say in a lot of my videos, this was very short-lived. While she retained the title against Velvet Sky at Bound for Glory, she lost the title a month later in a triple threat match to Taryn Terrell, also involving Gail Kim, who of which was pinned. And after this, Havok would begin losing matches more and more, and on the January 7th, 2015 episode of Impact, Awesome Kong would return to the company confronting Havok. While this moment was awesome and has over 2 million views on YouTube, it was a pretty good indication that Havok was kind of done for. Havok was pretty much Awesome Kong 2.0, and while she was doing that very well, Awesome Kong coming back meant that Havok didn't really have much of a spot, because Kong was a monster heel who was more popular and better than Havok. At Lockdown, Kong defeated Havok in a one-on-one match, and following this, Havok would be inactive for many months from the company, and she would confirm herself that she had left the company. So, pretty disappointing run. She should have been more. She returned to Impact in 2019, but once again, she isn't doing all that much. Hopefully, she does win the Knockouts title soon though. I would really like to see that. And number 1, Cody Deaner. Yes, this might be a cop-out because he is not acknowledged as a champion, but let me just explain. Okay? Cody Deaner signed with TNA in February 2009, aligning himself with ODB. He was used primarily as a jobber and comedy character, but he was often involved with ODB's feuds and title pursuits. At Hard Justice, it was ODB and Cody Deaner against Velvet Sky and Angelina Love in a tag match for Angelina Love's title. In this match, Deaner would pin Sky to make ODB the Knockouts champion. However, after the match, the two began arguing, as Deaner felt that he should be the Knockouts champion, as he was the one who made the pin and he would walk away carrying the belt. ODB was officially acknowledged as champion, but the title was vacated 11 days later as Cody Deaner felt he was the rightful champion. This led to a match between the two at No Surrender, which surprisingly wasn't that bad. ODB would thankfully win and ended Deaner's Knockouts title dreams. While Deaner was never officially the champion, the principle of a man challenging for the women's title in the first place and making the pinfall is just wrong. It's the same as when Ellsworth won Money in the Bank for Carmella. He himself didn't officially win, but the image of him grabbing the briefcase was just incorrect. Before we end off the video, I'm going to make the announcement that I teased at the start of this video. I actually made it in a video yesterday, but I ended up deleting that video because it wasn't really doing that well and it seemed like you guys weren't really enjoying it. So I deleted that video. So a lot of you guys probably haven't seen this announcement. But the announcement is that I'm going to be finally making a video on the Victory Road incident. It's something that you guys have asked me for ages. It's my most requested video probably, but because it's been covered to death on the internet, I always kind of thought that I was never gonna do it, like ever. I did a Victory Road 2011 review, like of the whole show, and I was thinking that would be the extent that I cover it. But then I started thinking, maybe I'll do it for 200k special. And I was very set on doing it then. But then I started thinking again, we're in the middle of a pandemic, everyone's at home, and the support I've been getting as of late has been really good. So I'm going to give you guys the Victory Road video. I'm going to start working on it. I'm going to try and make it like a 20-minute plus documentary, and I'm very excited about it. And yeah, that's the announcement. But let me know in the comments if you're excited for that, and also let me know in the comments who you think the worst Knockouts champion of all time was. Thanks for watching this video. If you did enjoy, smack the like button. Follow me on Twitter at TopTonWrestling. Check out my Patreon, patreon.com/TopTonWrestling for exclusive videos and perks. My Instagram is at I'mTomBell. All of these are linked in the description below. I'll see you all soon. Goodbye and keep on rolling.